Hi again, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Horse Race Bets with me, Ken Rudulph. It is episode number 15 here on Friday, February the 7th, 2025. All right, a lot going on here. What are we doing? We're talking about news, notes, rumors, gossip, any developments taking place in the world of horse racing. More importantly, we try to filter it all through this thing here. In my 25 years of experience, I kick it back out to you. Hopefully it makes a lot more sense. What we're also trying to do is help. If you're trying to play the horses, it's a fantastic endeavor. It's wicked hard and super frustrating. So I'll try to point you in the right direction, maybe give you some tips, maybe remind you of some basic parameters that you may have forgotten about in all of your experience. But first things first, right? Got to get down to business because a little thing called the Kentucky Derby is coming up in about 84 days, and we got prep races coming your way, and we have ourselves a Kentucky Derby top 5 list. But we also have a development with one of the horses that's on the list. We have liked a horse by the name of Hill Road ever since he ran from last, sprinted past everybody, and ended up a really impressive third in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile just last year. I've been waiting for him, and he's not quite ready just yet. He's just been transferred over to Chad Brown's barn. He had one workout for Chad. Chad said he's had a little issue with bone reformation. I'm like, yeah, that totally makes sense to me. I got a 14-year-old boy who's going through that every single day. Super tall, his limbs and everything are all out of control. So I get that. They need some time to settle into their new body. So Hill Road, not going to be likely to run in the Kentucky Derby. And I was like, oh, man, I like that horse. But the beauty of this is you should always be prepared to adjust when it comes to Derby horses. So we're going to go ahead and adjust our top 5 list here. Take a look at Ken's Kentucky Derby top 5. We've got, of course, in the number 1 spot, Citizen Bull, because I don't know who's going to pass him in the stretch. And he is next scheduled. He's probable for March 1st in the San Felipe at Santa Anita. Barnes is his stablemate for the Hall of Famer Bob Baffert. He is probable for the Rebel Stakes at Oaklawn Park February the 22nd. So that's coming up in about 2 weeks. Burnham Square, he's actually the one I really like. He is possible for the Fountain of Youth Stakes. That's on March 1st at Gulfstream Park. Built is a closer that I think is built for this particular type of race, the Kentucky Derby. He'll be back in the Risen Star. That's at the Fairgrounds coming up next weekend. That's right after Valentine's Day on February the 15th. And then there's the newcomer, Treaty of Rome. Makes his debut on our Kentucky Derby top 5 list. He will have a chance to solidify that position coming up this weekend. This weekend we have just one Kentucky Derby prep race, and that is coming up. You see the Sam F. Davis there is this Saturday at Tampa Bay Downs. A nice size field of horses. There's some speed in there, enough speed to set things up. And then there's, of course, the class, the horse by the name of Poster. Poster is the horse that everyone's going to be thinking about. He's probably not the horse that you bet, but you definitely want to watch him. You watch that horse. But who do you bet? You go with my pick. The number 2 horse, Treaty of Rome, is 6-1 on the morning line. He'll probably get bet down. I would suspect he'll go off at 9-2. 9-2 is my jam. Give me that $11 and change. We'll take that winner, hopefully coming up on Saturday, and feel real good about it. But how did we get through the whole process? And how did we end up picking a horse like Treaty of Rome? Or how do we end up even getting lucky and picking Burnham Square, who did a great job and scored at a nice price in the Holy Bull, Well, we went through all of our rules. We established those rules a long time ago. We brought them to you yesterday. It's a concept of what are we trying to do? We're trying to make money betting on horses. So how to bet on horse racing? You have to understand the rules, there are parameters, and you have to have a personal strategy. Let's go take a look at our rules here. Talking about how to bet, the 4 R's, right? Research, resources, restrict, and reward. Research, pick a track to play, then you go to equibase.com and check on jockey trainer stats, and things like that. Your available resources, drf.com, brisnet.com, good place to start for basic race info, like who's in the race, what the distance is, what their speed figures have been, things like that. Once you can figure that out, now you're going to play, right? And here's where it really gets important. You have to restrict yourself to stay within your budget. Only play win wagers. Exacta, that means a first and second place finisher. And then the daily double, that means a parlay. Winner from race 1 and winner from race 2, or whatever the 2 races are you want to put together. You have to win them both to hit the double. That's a 2-race parlay, we call that. And I say that usually I keep my budget $50 per track. Don't go over that. And then the fun part is you reward yourself every once in a while. So there's 2 ways to reward yourself. One, you increase your win wager. So you play bigger bets after you win because now you've got some money to work with. Or, how about you do both of these things? You cash out periodically, right? When you, let's say you put $50 in and you won and now you're at $200, okay? You take $100 of that away. Take yourself back to the 50 plus the 50 you made, then you can work and try to make some things happen with that particular approach or that particular strategy. But you have to have the discipline and you have to understand what your parameters are and try really hard to stay within those confines. All right, so with all of that, we go back to the number 1 thing on the list, right? Do your research. Pick a track and decide which one you're going to play. I keep it pretty consistent. This week on Friday, we're going to play Turfway Park. Saturday, we know we're playing Tampa all day long. And then Sunday's got a really nice card that's going to be early enough for you to get your money before the big game comes up in the afternoon. And that's going to be at Gulfstream Park. And they even start with their first race as an awesome turf race. So I'm going to play that for sure with my man, Johnny V, going to be in the irons. But let's focus in on the real big play. Turfway Park is definitely our white whale. It is a really difficult circuit to catch. But if you can catch it one time, it makes it worth all the other losses. They didn't have anyone hit the pick 5. There's a pick 5 carryover of about $155,000. We don't really concern ourselves with that at Turfway Park because carryover or not, the pick 5 is always going to pay because there's always some craziness that's going to take place. So we're going to keep it simple. We're also going to play for $1. What does that mean? That means instead of the 50-cent base play, I'm going to double it and play for $1. Why? I feel like I have a solid opinion in the first 3 and 4 legs. And if that works out, I'll be in great position with my coverage in the 10th and final race, although I probably should go all there, but I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is keep it super simple. So we start in race number 6 on Friday, Turfway Park. The 8 horse is called Maynard. That horse is in great form. But the one thing it's really hard to do at a track or any track is win multiple races. And that's what some of these runners are trying to do. And it's tricky to do because, a horse may not be feeling the best on that particular day, or the level of competition is just a little bit deeper, right, than they were expecting. But in this situation, Maynard has won the last 2 starts at Turfway Park. And I feel like, why not take a chance and see if that horse can run it 3 in a row? If not, assiduously is the 7. That horse will be coming from off the pace, and he could make some noise and upset your favorite, the 8 to the outside. Race number 7, we also keep it simple, 6.5 furlongs claiming event. We're going to go to the outside. I really like race number 8. The 8 horse in race number 7. That is Zippin' Gigi because he has real speed. And the combination of Carlos Barbosa and Gennaro Garcia, the trainer and the jockey in that situation, they do a really good job together. They're winning at 22% for the last, let's say, 2 months at Turfway Park. I'm cool with that. And if they can't control the pace, right, and keep it going all the way around, the closer in here, there are a couple of closers, but the one that I like is the 10, J.W. Ruckus. This horse closes, and it's been a while since he won a race. He hasn't won a race since September of last year, so it's been the last 5 in a row that he has lost, actually 6 in a row that he has lost. But there are some chances for some pace duels in here, but if the 8 can go out by himself, he's gone. But if the 8 gets a challenge, I'm taking the 10 to pick him up from off the pace. Most folks will probably play the 7 in that race to make the move from off the pace. I'm going to try to beat that horse. All right, also in order to keep your ticket at a reasonable price, you have to have a solid opinion, and that means you have to have a single somewhere. If you can single 2, well, that's fantastic. But singling 1 is where you have to go. I'm going to go with Dazzling Dictator. That's the 6 in race number 8. Also another great jockey-trainer combination. Luan Machado, who's winning at 17% on his own, and Rudy Brissett, who's winning at 17% as well. And then when they get together, they do some good things. They're winning at 33% in the meeting thus far, and then 13% together over the last couple of months. Dazzling Dictator was able to score going 1.25 miles last time out, going 1.25 miles coming up on Friday. There are some other challengers, but once again, once you start adding horses, obviously that makes your ticket a lot more expensive. So you got to make big boy decisions. So I'm going to single there, and whatever happens, happens. Race number 9. The 6 is my man. I can't single him because I'm just not sure, but Lily's home. The 6 is speed in this race with my favorite jockey at Turfway Park, Fernando de la Cruz. Now, I'm not sure if somebody else might try to get froggy and jump out there. That's the weird thing about Turfway, is that you'll handicap a race and then the race will start, and all of a sudden the horse that you did not expect to be on the lead is not only on the lead, he's tough on the lead. And you're like, what is this horse doing? That happened yesterday. A horse won and paid $85 on the lead. No one expected it, ran them off their feet and stayed there. The only other speed in this race is the 4, Pretty on the Prairie. And there might be a little gas with the horse to the inside, Hula J, but I'm really expecting Fernando to get the lead. And if he can't hold that lead, the 10, No Show, I think has the best closing kick, was able to close and break the maiden last time out, and has always been a consistent closer, just wasn't able to seal the deal until the performance last time out. So maybe the light bulb went off, right? Maybe he figured out what he's supposed to be doing in career start number 12, but I think he's a viable closer if the speed of the 6 does not hold. We're alive, right? You have to assume we're alive. We get to race number 10, and we've got coverage. It's a 6-furlong maiden claiming event. The only horse that's like questionable is the 8 that we're including, and that's a first-time starter, but he's got great pedigree. A Caraconti, first-time starter, really nice win-early pedigree, nice rider, and a nice trainer who doesn't put out a lot of horses, right? But what he has put out, he's won half his races. 2 horses have run, 1 picked up the victory, and like I said, this particular runner has good win-early pedigree. But we've got some coverage in here as well, and kind of see how it works out. Florina to the outside, the 12, is a horse that we think could be very, very interesting, and we'll see if they can turn things around. They've been struggling as of late. But now, second off the layoff, they should have improved fitness. You've got the 5 in here, that's Outraged, horse that showed a little bit of speed and fade last time out, meaning they had some speed, made a winning move, got tired, and then backed off. That's going to happen. That's going to happen. So we don't really have clear-cut speed here in this race, so that's why there's so much coverage, okay? So that's 5 horses on the bottom, okay? 5 times 2, that's 10. 10 times 2, that's 20. 20 times 2, that's 40. That's how we multiply and figure out how much your ticket is going to cost you on the $1 play. $40 is the total. Woohoo! That looks exciting. So we'll play that, right? We'll play our win wager in the Sam F. Davis at Tampa Bay. And we'll play something at Gulfstream Park on Sunday morning before the big game. Going to look at Johnny V. Got a mount in the opening race on the card as they go on the turf course on Sunday. All right. That is how we lay it out for the whole weekend. I hope we have, maybe we agree on some of these selections or our opinions. It'd be great if we did. If not, that's what the game is all about, right? We're not betting against the house. We're not betting against the team. We're betting against each other. So our opinions really matter. All right. In the meantime and in between time, and until next time, we'll see you here on Horse Race Bets with me, Ken Rudolph. And as far as your weekend is concerned, good luck and enjoy whatever you're into.